Hi guys, good morning. It's Mariella from Binary Option Sheriff. Thank you again for joining me for this video tutorial today, and it's going to be dedicated to Ethereum. So the whole point of these videos are to introduce newbies and people who are absolutely having no idea what cryptocurrencies are and what the crypto world is all about. So if you're very tech savvy, probably this video isn't for you. But if you're new and you're interested and would like to know more, then I would recommend that you just hit the subscribe button below so that you will be informed whenever there's a new video. And apart from that, if you'd like to get my full and free ebook on the cryptocurrencies crypto world, then you can just put in your email address in the dialog box below, or just drop me an email on support@binaryoptionsheriff.com and you'll have it in your inbox. So the subject today is going to be Ethereum and how Ethereum differs from Bitcoin and how it is also dependent on blockchain. And if you have no idea what Bitcoin or blockchain are all about, I've prepared two previous videos which are quite detailed on the subject, but I will give you a quick rundown on this so that you will be able to understand, because in order to understand Ethereum, you must also know a little bit about Bitcoin and blockchain, because they're all really quite related together. So let's start off with Ethereum. As I said, in order to understand Ethereum, you need to understand Bitcoin and blockchain. So what came first, the chicken or the egg? What came first in 2008 was this concept that Satoshi Nakamoto, who is really not a real person, is just a name assumed by one or a number of people who prefer to stay completely anonymous, and who decided that he has had enough with banks, financial institutions, PayPal and anything of that sort, and wanted to create a system whereby he would create a peer-to-peer payment. So I could send a payment to you without the intermediary of the bank. In order to be able to realize his dream, he had to write a system which is called the blockchain, where the payment system, which would be decentralized and which would be all over on a distributed ledger, would have the solidity and the irreversibility that you want when you are doing a payment. So this is quite important. This is how blockchain was created. So blockchain was created as a decentralized system where no CFOs, no CMOs, no CEOs, nothing exists, but the system belongs to everyone and records transactions securely. So the blockchain system is actually run by miners. These miners acquire immutable proof that every transaction has been effected and confirmed by proof of work. So here, this is the bone of contention. As long as a miner gets proof of work and gets paid for it, then all the system is updated, all the system whereby one payment is made, all the computers are all updated at the same time, and therefore you have a system which has changed the block on the chain, and you are 100% secure with your payments. So Bitcoin was invented as a way to disrupt the regular banking system for making transfers of payments. Blockchain was invented to support it. But actually, the scope of blockchain and the way it was geniusly written went way beyond the scope of regular use for Bitcoin. This is because any information can be stored on a blockchain. And here is where we introduce the other genius, and this time he is flesh and blood one, and his name is Vitalik Buterin. Vitalik Buterin is really another genius. At just 23, this guy is a multi-millionaire, if not billionaire already, probably he is. And he was already very much exposed to blockchain, because he was already working with Bitcoin magazine. And, you know, Vitalik Buterin saw an opportunity by knowing and understanding the mechanics of blockchain, he saw a window of opportunity. And this window of opportunity came around to be in a way in which your information is stored. Now, let me tell you just a little bit of something you're probably already very much aware about. If you are just browsing through you're just browsing the internet and you're looking for something, and suddenly your favorite destination or your best holiday pops up on your screen. Have you ever wondered why that is? The answer is very simple. It's because people like Google and Apple store all the information that you actually put through, and it's really prostitution of your privacy. And they have all the information of your habits and what you would like to do recorded in their own cloud. Now, Vitaly Buterin saw that with blockchain, he could actually do away and your data would remain private. So if you are looking for information on a particular app, or you're using a particular app, at any point in time, Google and Apple and who knows who else can stop you from using it, for example, or can collect information about you and your data from these apps. So what he decided to do is to create a platform which he called Ethereum, on which the feeding off from the blockchain technology would give him the possibility of creating apps that are decentralized and that do not need to have your personal data all exposed to everyone. The scope of Ethereum is different to the scope of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was intended to be disruptive for making payments on a peer-to-peer level, whereas Ethereum, all kinds of data that's currently stored in a centralized manner can now be safely stored in a decentralized manner. In order to understand it a little bit better, what Ethereum is all about, let's say that Ethereum is to email what blockchain is to internet. And this is probably overused and exposed, but I really like the explanation in which you can understand why this is just an offshoot of blockchain. So Ethereum is an offshoot of blockchain, but the purpose of Ethereum, when you compare it to Bitcoin, they are completely different. What happened is that Ethereum created its own currency, which is called Ether. And this was the currency that you need to use in order to be able to use any of the apps that you can create on the Ethereum platform. So in its own right, Ether became another decentralized currency like blockchain. But it was not the intention. The intention of Ether is to be used as fuel to make the Ethereum platform run, and no other method. However, in the pre-sale on the ICO for Ether, the sale went completely oversold, and Ether, the price of Ether, which at the time when it was issued was something like fraction of cents, today is something like $450 at the time that I am recording this video, which is in November 2017. So in just 2 short years, the price of Ethereum has also risen exponentially, like that of Bitcoin, which over the past year has more than become 10 times of its value. So we are going to see a little bit what is we're going to put Bitcoin and Ethereum against each other. So the pivot is mostly standing on the fact that the purposes that we started off with Bitcoin and Ethereum are generally very different. So Bitcoin was the first virtual currency that was created, and it was meant as an alternative, as a gateway of payment. Whereas Ethereum was intended to create apps. In fact, it's created a platform where you can create apps which go beyond the scope of just using it as a digital currency. So, as we said already, Bitcoin was created to facilitate a peer-to-peer payment, and Ethereum was created to facilitate a peer-to-peer contract. In fact, on Ethereum, I'm sure you might have heard of what is called smart contracts. Whenever the language is used in such a way to create a simple contract, then the simple contract in this particular case is what is going to be the contract which will update all other computers, the distributed ledgers, for whatever it is intended. So, for example, if you want to create a system whereby you keep public records in a decentralized manner, you would use the Ethereum platform. If you wanted to use blockchain, you would have to create a completely new and independent blockchain, independent of Bitcoin. With the use of Ethereum, you can use the Ethereum platform, and the script is already written on this platform. There are very important differences. No one heads Bitcoin. Bitcoin is sort of heading on its own without any specific direction, so to speak, just because we don't know who the real developers are. And whereas Ethereum, there is a number of people, including, of course, Buterin himself, who are there to answer questions. And whenever there are any changes, like very recently we had a hard fork on Ethereum, then they are there to at least put people's mind at rest about what they are planning to do in order to improve the system. Bitcoin and Ethereum, as I explained earlier, have different cryptography, and a simple explanation on this is really not that possible. And as I said, I intended to make these videos in such a way that they should be understood by anyone who is interested in the subject but does not have the technical abilities. Let's just say that they run on completely different languages. Benefits and features, both have benefits and features. However, they are, as we said, intended for very different use. Today you can still buy Ether, like you can buy Bitcoin on an open exchange, and you can just hold the token to either use it as a form of payment, especially if you're looking at buying into any new ICO, or else you can also use it as a store of value, since the price seems to be on an exponential rise. So there are different reasons why you could hold Ether, and in the same manner, Bitcoin can be used as a peer-to-peer payment. You can use it to pay for goods, you can use it to pay for transactions, you can use it to pay someone you owe money. But apart from that, you can also use it as a store for value, since again it would appear that it is a good investment, especially at the time of recording this video. Please do leave me any questions that you might have, or any topics you would like me to go into. I promise you that I will try to do another video tomorrow, and this will be more related to ICOs, because ICOs seem to be the buzzword at the moment. So please do subscribe to the channel and drop me an email on support@binaryoptionsheriff.com if you'd like to get the free ebook. And that's all from me today, folks. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you.